and welcome to another Hayley-Roxanna crafts video. In this video I'm going to show you how to do horizontal and vertical half stitches. These are also sometimes called squat stitches or squashed stitches. I don't actually use these stitches in my own designs, and I've never actually used them when I've been stitching anybody else's, but they do appear in some more advanced charts, so I thought I'd show you how to do them. So this is an example of how horizontal and vertical half stitches can be shown on charts. As you can see, they fill half the square on the chart, either vertically or horizontally. So I've got a piece of Aida fabric here, and I'm going to start by showing you the horizontal half stitches. So we'll start with a horizontal half stitch that's in the bottom half of the square. Okay, now you can see the full stitch there, which is done by going hole to hole. But with the horizontal half stitches, in the bottom half, you'd come up in your bottom hole, like so. And then instead of going down in the hole at the top here, you want to go down halfway between these two holes. So you've just got to try and pierce your fabric, which can be a little tricky. If you find it hard, a sharper needle might help rather than using a tapestry needle. Then you pull that through, and then you'd come up in the hole at the bottom again, like you would with your normal cross stitch. But then again, to do the half, you'd go down halfway between these two holes, like so. So then you've got your cross stitch, but just in the bottom half of the square. Now, if you were doing a horizontal half stitch in the top half of your square, you would come up in between the two holes, like so. And like I said, if you find it hard to pierce your fabric, use a sharper needle. And then you'd go down into the top hole, like that. And then again, you want to come up halfway between the two holes, and then down into the top hole. And then you've got your horizontal half stitch in the top half of your square. You do these in the same directions as your normal cross stitches. So I always do bottom left to top right, and then bottom right to top left when I cross stitch. But if you cross stitch by going bottom right to top left first, then you just do your bottom stitch that way on the half stitches. So now I'll show you how to do your vertical half stitches. So we'll start with the vertical half stitch in the left hand half of the square. So to do that, we'd come up in the bottom hole, and then instead of going down into the hole on the top right, you would go down in the middle between your two holes at the top, like so. And then you want to come up between the two bottom holes and down into the top hole. So that gives you your cross in the left hand half of the square. Okay, again, finding it hard to pierce the fabric, use a sharper needle, or you could use a pin to sort of pre-pierce the hole. So if you're doing a vertical half stitch in the right half of the square, then you want to come up between the two bottom holes and down into the top hole, and then up in the bottom hole and down between the two top holes to give you that stitch in the right half of the square. Okay, again, if you do your cross stitches where you do your bottom stitch right to left, then you'd start with the right to left stitch first, which is the top stitch on mine. So now I'm going to show you the horizontal and vertical half stitches, but on the even weave fabric. So to start with, I'll just remind you that when you do a full cross stitch on your even weave fabric, generally you work over 2 stitches. So that means that each square on the fabric that represents a square on your chart has 9 holes in it, in that square. Okay, so if you were doing a horizontal half stitch in the bottom half, you'd come up into the bottom hole of that square of 9 holes, and then instead of skipping over the 2 like that, you would go to the hole in between the 2 corner holes on the side. So you're sort of halfway up the square, and pull that through. And then you'd come up into the bottom hole of the square, like so. And again, you want to go into the middle hole, or the hole on the side, like so, to do your bottom half. And then if I was doing one into the top half, so a horizontal half stitch in the top half, you'd come up in the hole that's on the side of the square, and then go down in the hole in the corner of your square. You'd come up in the hole in the side and down into the corner the other side. You just got to remember you've got those 9 holes, and it's actually easier on your even weave because you're not having to pierce your fabric to make that hole halfway up the side. So if we do the vertical half stitches, you'd come up in the bottom corner to do the vertical stitch in the left hand half, and then instead of going down what would be the corner hole, you want to go down the hole that's on the top of the square, in the middle, like so. And then you want the hole that's in the middle of the bottom edge of your square of 9, and then you go down into the corner, and that would put it in the left half. But then if you want it into the right half, again, take your 9 squares, and you'd want to come up in the middle at the bottom of your 9. Okay, so if I'm taking this as my 9, I'm in the middle at the bottom, and then you'd go down into your corner hole at the top. Then you want the corner hole at the bottom, and then into the middle hole at the top. Okay, so on the even weave, you've just got to remember you're working in that block of 9 holes. So that's how you do horizontal and vertical half stitches, or squat or squashed stitches, whatever you want to call them. I hope that helps if you come across these stitches in any charts that you're stitching. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments, and I'll put some links below to any products that I have used in this video. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!